Hey, everybody, and welcome. We are so glad you guys are here. I'm Brandon. My wife and I are the founders of Made to Homeschool. And one of the reasons I'm so glad you're here is because what I'm sharing today has been in the works for a really long time. Before I say anything else, I want to say this. If you're watching this with a toddler on your hip, or a load of laundry behind you, or like a toy truck, as I have, uh, or a knot in your stomach because you're scared you might be messing this up, you are exactly who we wrote this for today. You are seen, you are welcome, and you do not have to have this figured out to be in the right room. Here's what we're going to do for about the next hour. I'm going to teach the 5 truths we've been promising, the thing you signed up for, and then I'm going to share something we've been building for over a year that I think is going to help a lot of you. Then, several members of our team will join us for a live Q&A. You can drop any questions you have in the chat as we go. Now, that's for folks who are on the live page. If you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, anywhere else, the chat won't come through in the same way. But if you go to madetohomeschool.com/live and register right there, now it'll just give you the link to join us live, and you can engage in the chat as well. But here's why we're doing this today. When my wife and I were just starting to drink the homeschool Kool-Aid a few years ago, we knew nothing at all. We still know next to nothing, but we knew nothing. We had great relationships with some of the folks you'll see later who gave us excellent advice. But we still made every mistake you can make. We bought curriculum we did not use and didn't need. Despite our best efforts, I still ended up trying to recreate school at our dining room table. And we unintentionally still compared ourselves to a dangerous mix of our own public school baggage and influencer brainwashing. It was not awesome. I remember in the first few weeks, our oldest son was so frustrated a couple of times. We were using the same books he had been using in the Christian school we were in before, and he was doing a lesson on like units of measure in his math workbook. And I was telling him, do it, just the work's there, do the work, right? And I remember him laying his head in his hands, and he said, on the verge of tears, I just don't get it. My son, my whip smart, totally can learn anything, could calculate a tithe at 5 years old, brilliant son, just didn't get it. And that's when I realized I was trying to do what someone else thought was best and not what was actually best for my family and this one son in particular. So I went and grabbed a bunch of mason jars, and I told him, here's a cup, here's a pint, here's a quart, here's a half gallon. This one's 8 ounces, this one's 16 ounces. And he got it, like instantly. This is a small example of something little, minor, but it was, I think, a first turning point for me. A realization that I could be free of expectations from others, and we'll get into that, but also that I'd have some really hard work ahead of me in figuring out what works for our family and not for everyone else's. And I had no idea where to start. Here's the thing no one tells us. What we needed wasn't more curriculum. It wasn't a better schedule. It wasn't a different method. What we needed was somebody to tell us the truth about what homeschooling actually is before we tried to do it. And that's what we hope to start changing for you today. I also want to hand you a permission slip before we get into it. You are allowed to not know what you're doing yet. Every single homeschooler you admire on Instagram, wherever else, TikTok, started exactly where you are. Nobody's born knowing this. So today is exactly that. 5 truths nobody tells you. 5 truths that if you embrace them at the start, or maybe just for a restart, will let you begin with real confidence instead of pretending or losing your mind. By the end of our hour, you're going to walk away knowing you can actually do this. Not because it'll be easy, but because you've got a plan to find what works for your family. Let's get into it. Truth number 1. Your why is more important than your what. Most new homeschoolers spend their first 3 months obsessing over what. What curriculum? What schedule? What math program? What grade level? Should I do a co-op? Should I buy that planner everybody's posting about? These are not bad questions. They're just the wrong first question. Because when you start with the what instead of the why, the first time something gets hard, and it will get hard, you have nothing to anchor you. You picked your curriculum because a blog said so. You picked your schedule because Pinterest said so. And when your kid melts down over math one morning and you don't have a reason to push through, You just have a curriculum, and you start wondering if maybe you should send them back to school. Your why is the reason you decided to do this in the first place. Maybe it's your faith. Maybe you wanted more time as a family. Maybe your kid was struggling. Maybe you watched them stop loving learning and you couldn't handle it anymore. Maybe God called you to it and you can't escape it. And for a lot of us in this room, that last one is the real answer in the end. But whatever your why is, it has to come first, because every decision after it gets filtered through that why. Your why is your compass. Your why doesn't have to be a 5-paragraph mission statement. In fact, it definitely should not be that. The families who thrive long term, the ones who go the distance, their why is simple and clear. It's something they can say in the car, something their kids should be able to repeat back to them. We teach 2 simple structures for this, and you pick whichever one fits you better and finish the sentence in less than 20 words, but even less than 10 if you can. Simplicity wins here. Portability. Ours is kind of in the middle. So you've got 2 options. One is either we homeschool because we believe blank, and that's a belief-driven version, or we homeschool in order to blank, and that's a goal-driven version. Either one of those in one sentence is your compass. For us, it's something like we homeschool because we believe worldview and character are the most important parts of their education. Or we homeschool in order to be the primary influencers of our kids' worldview and character. When you have that one sentence, every decision after it gets easier. Should we do a co-op this year? Should we run it through your why? Yeah, let's do that. Should we switch math? Check your why. Should we push through this hard week or rest? Check your why. Should we buy the thing? Check your why. Without it, you're reacting all the time. And with it, you're building from a foundation. If you take nothing else from this first point, take this. Before you buy anything or plan anything this week, sit down with your spouse, yourself, the Lord, and figure out your why. One sentence. And write it somewhere you're going to see it every day. Your fridge, dashboard, phone lock screen. Why is more important than what? Truth number 2. You can bring school home without making your home a school. This is one that wrecks more to homeschoolers than anything else probably. And it happened and continues to happen to a lot of us, including me. And it's contentious because it's complicated. We pull our kids out of a school environment, or we never put them in one to begin with, and our brain immediately says, okay, now I have to recreate that environment, or the one I grew up in my living room with a kid who's not me. So we buy desks, or we hang a flag, we make a bell schedule, we try to do hours and hours of school a day, because that's what school does. We line them up, we grade their papers, we give them homework after dinner in their own home, where they live. And about 3 weeks in, everybody is miserable, and they're wondering if you made a terrible mistake. You didn't make a terrible mistake. You just brought the wrong model home with you. Now, this isn't to say that any of those things are bad. I actually intentionally do some of those things myself. But what I'm doing works for my home, not necessarily for yours. But how do you figure out what things are baggage and what things are best? There's a word for what needs to happen. It's called deschooling. And it's not about uneducating your kids. It's about unlearning the assumption that learning has to look like a classroom or like your personal school experience. Deschooling is the process of giving everybody, including you, permission to discover what learning can look like when you do what works for your family. There are 3 phases really to it. 1 is release, letting go of the old model. 2 is rediscover, watching how your kids actually learn when you stop forcing the classroom version of things on them. And then reimagine, picturing what your home can look like when learning is woven into it instead of bolted on. If you spend any amount of time with me, you'll know that I've got a pretty strong patriotic streak. So having been public schooled myself, I thought, well, the school day starts with the Pledge of Allegiance. And we tried it for a little while. But it always felt forced, like I was shoehorning it in. And it turns out I was wearing baggage about what I thought was right to do, what I was taught to, not what I believe was actually most important. For us, our faith in Jesus is actually the most important thing. So we changed it up, and now we start each school day with reading a chapter in the Bible and discussing it together. That's just for us, but if you're new or newer to homeschooling, you probably have some of those things yourself. Here's the good news. School at home does not have to take the same shape, or same hours, by the way, that traditional school takes. For most elementary age kids, academic work is a fraction of the classroom day, probably more like 1 to 2 hours tops. The reason a classroom takes all day isn't because learning takes all day. It's because managing a room full of kids takes all day. You don't have that problem. You have your kids, and you can do in a couple of hours what that classroom does in 6. And the rest of what kids actually need, especially at that age: reading, exploring, building, playing, talking with you, helping in the kitchen, even getting bored, maybe doing some chores, that's already learning. You don't have to schedule it as school for it to count. I like to say our kids have an hour or two of school per day, and then they're 90s kids. They play with sticks and bugs, and they read books, and they make up games together. Here's what your home can offer that a classroom literally cannot: one-on-one attention, learning at the pace of your kid, not 24 others. Real life learning, cooking, building, gardening, errands, conversations with grown-ups, the freedom to chase a question for 3 hours when your kid gets fascinated by something, rest when your kid needs rest, connection between siblings, faith woven into everything. Those are home superpowers. Every one of them gets squashed when you try to recreate a classroom or just some kind of system that isn't right for your family. Especially in your first 6 months, give yourself and your kids permission to not look like school. Read together on the couch, do math on the kitchen table, or just whatever works for you. Take field trips. Let your toddler dump some rice on the floor while your 8-year-old does a science experiment, hypothetically. All of that can be part of homeschool. Bring school home. Don't make your home a school. Truth number 3: your home doesn't look like everybody else's, so your homeschool shouldn't either. There's a trap in I think almost every homeschooler falls into it. You join a Facebook group or you follow some homeschool moms on Instagram, and within a couple of weeks, you are convinced everybody else has it figured out, and you are the only one floundering. Let me tell you the secret that few people on Instagram are telling you. That mom with the perfect morning basket and matching binders and the kids in matching outfits sitting at little painted desks, she has hard days too. She just doesn't post them. I know I almost never share my hard days, and I'm a homeschool dad who is trying to figure this thing out. There's just no one right way to homeschool. I'm going to say it again because some of y'all need to hear this. There is no one right way to homeschool. There are dozens of methods out there: classical, Charlotte Mason, Montessori, unit studies, unschooling, eclectic, traditional. And every single one of them has produced kids who turn out great. And every single one has produced burnt out families. The method isn't the magic. The fit is. Your kids are not the kids of that other family. Your marriage is not some other family's marriage. Your work schedule is not their schedule. Your kid's wiring is not that kid's wiring. Your finances, your home, your faith, your stage of life, all of that is unique to you, not their family. And your homeschool gets to reflect that. I'm giving you another permission slip. From Made to Homeschool to you, it's official. Take it. You have permission to do school in pajamas. I don't like doing that personally, not my thing, but that doesn't mean you can't. You have permission to take Wednesdays off. You have permission to have kids who catch on to reading at different ages, to mix 3 different curricula because none of them fit perfectly, to have a different morning routine than everyone else, to take a nature walk instead of doing a worksheet, to be a Christian homeschool family that looks completely different from the Christian homeschool family down the street. Your goal is not to homeschool the way it should be done. The goal is to homeschool in a way that actually works for your family in your season with your kids and with your calling. Guard what feeds you this week. Notice what's not serving you in this whole season and pull back from it. Not because anybody's doing something wrong, even the influencers. It's not that, but it's because you get to decide what you let into your head while you're building something new. Your family is your standard. Take one comparison out of your life this week. Unfollow someone giving you FOMO, or take a social media break if you need to. Or write down the things that you know aren't for you so you don't keep that comparison. Just stop comparing and start customizing. Truth number 4. And this one's pretty important. And when we were putting this together, I paraphrased one of our team members, Amy, from Humility and Doxology. The imperfect thing you do is better than the perfect thing you don't. Here's what happens a lot. A new homeschool parent spends 3 months researching the perfect curriculum. They watch every YouTube review. They read every blog. They join 3 Facebook groups to ask for opinions. By the time they finally pick something, they've burned 3 months and they are way more anxious than when they started. Meanwhile, the family next door grabbed something off the shelf, started Tuesday morning, and 3 months in, they've built a real rhythm. Their curriculum isn't perfect, but they're doing it. This is one of the most important things I think I could share with you about homeschooling. Consistent imperfection, or consistent imperfect action will beat perfect intentions every single time. You need a system, not a perfect system, just a system, a rough rhythm for the day, a rough plan for the week, a rough way to track what's getting done, a rough way to handle the days when everything falls apart. You hear the word rough is doing a lot of work there. That's intentional. New homeschoolers think they need a beautiful system before they can start. You don't. You need a rough one. Something you can pick up Monday morning without crying. Some days, for us, like when Easter started with church and a glorious, beautiful morning and a great meal for everybody, and ended with several of the 23 people in our home suddenly having a stomach bug. And we're all trying to recover, and I'm about to host a giant webinar that we've been preparing for and share some big news, hypothetically. On those days, maybe we're just doing Bible time and the kids are going to get some reading in while recovery is happening, hypothetically. Here's the other half nobody tells you. Your system can change. Your schedule that you start with in September does not have to match your March schedule. I'm pretty sure mine has changed 7 times, literally. The curriculum you have today doesn't have to be your curriculum in 2 years. Your homeschool gets to grow. Your systems get to evolve, but you can't grow from nothing. You have to start from somewhere. And the somewhere doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to exist. Here's a rule that will save you a lot of heartache. We call it the 3-week rule. When you try something new, a new curriculum, a new schedule, a new approach, commit to using it for 3 full weeks before making any big decisions. Because there's always like an awkward adjustment period in week 1. That's normal. Don't quit in week 1. Push through to week 3. Then, if it's still not working, that's not just noise. That's real data. Maybe you can trust that. But whatever you've been agonizing over, pick something. Anything. Start Monday. Use it for 3 weeks. And then just adjust what's not working and keep what is. Every veteran homeschool family I know figured it out the same way. Not by finding the perfect system on day 1, but by starting an imperfect one and refining it over years. The imperfect thing you do is better than the perfect thing you don't. Truth number 5, the last one, and I think the one you're most likely to have a tendency to ignore, whoever you are, but sincerely, you must not. Maybe you can't, but together, we can. Homeschooling is one of the best decisions our family's ever made. But I don't want to sugarcoat things. It's also genuinely hard. Very hard. There are days when your patience is gone by 9:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier. Seasons when you wonder if you're ruining your kids. I have had this thought a few times just in the past 24 hours. There are weeks when nothing works and you just want to give up. Here's a lie I think the enemy wants you to believe on those days. You should be able to do this on your own. And if you can't, you're failing. It's not true. It's never been true and it will never be true. Nobody is supposed to do this alone. Ecclesiastes 4 says it plain. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either one of them falls down, one can help the other up. For most of human history, families raised kids in community, in tribes, in villages, in extended family. The isolated nuclear family trying to do everything by themselves is a very recent experiment. Not the family themselves. We actually believe that's God's plan for our lives. But the idea that our families shouldn't be with others. I shared that passage from Ecclesiastes, but one of my favorites that's relevant to this is actually, I think, Acts 2. We see there a really good example of what people who followed Jesus were doing as soon as he left. It doesn't say they all went their separate ways and did their own thing alone. It says they were meeting in each other's homes, breaking bread together, dedicating themselves to the apostles' teaching and to the reading of the word, and sharing everything they had in common. And doing that, they grew. Jesus spoke on this as well, saying, "By this people will know you as my disciples, that you love one another." You weren't made to do life alone. And you weren't made to do homeschool alone either. The families I see thriving long-term aren't the ones with the best curricula or the ones with the most organized binders. They're cool, don't get me wrong. But it's the ones who are connected to other like-minded homeschool families, to people who get it, to a community that catches them when they fall. See, real community does three things for you. It gives you encouragement when you want to quit, gives you accountability so you don't drift, and it gives you shared resources so you're not figuring everything out alone. The veteran mom who says, yeah, that's normal, my kid did that too, might literally save your whole month. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to members of this team, been like, have you guys ever had this? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay, sweet. Maybe I'm not a total basket case. No, I might be, but turns out that encouragement and community is real. And here's the part I want you to hear most. Even if there's not a homeschool family on your street, even if your own family, your extended family, thinks you're crazy, you can still find your people. If that's local, great. You can't replace that. But online community, if it's a good one, can count for something too. I can't tell you how many times I've been encouraged or challenged by someone else on the team or other members in the Made to Homeschool community. This week, find one place to connect with other homeschool families. A local co-op, a church group, Made to Homeschool, any of those. Just pick something and reach out this week. If you aren't a premium member, you can still get basic access to Made to Homeschool with a free membership. Seriously, there's no strings for that. Because I think one of the biggest reasons homeschool families quit isn't because the work is too hard. It's because they tried to do it isolated. That's a big part of why we started M2H in the first place. So whatever else you take from this today, go find your people. Let me reiterate those 5 truths before we shift gears a little bit. 1, why is more important than what? 2, you can bring school home without making your home a school. 3, your home doesn't look like everyone else's. Your home school shouldn't either. 4, the imperfect thing you do is better than the perfect thing you don't. And 5, maybe you can't, but together we can. If you clicked in here today feeling overwhelmed, I hope when we're done, you'll be feeling a little lighter. None of this has to be perfect. It just has to be honest. And it doesn't have to be alone. After all those individual actions I shared, here's what I want you to do no matter what this week, please. Pick one thing, one of those actions, not 5, just one, at least one. Pick the truth that hit you the hardest today and act on it before Sunday. Write your why. Take your first D-School day. Guard what feeds you. Start the imperfect system or find your people. Just do at least one. And I want you to hear me on this one. Your goal isn't a perfect homeschool, but a faithful one where relationships flourish and learning becomes a lifestyle. That's the whole thing. And hold on to this passage. Philippians 1:6 says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. He's not finished with you. He's not finished with your kids. Keep going. Now, before I bring the team on for our panel, I've got one more thing. Everything I just taught you, all 5 of those truths, we didn't just talk about them in a webinar today and call it done. For over a year, our team has been building something that incorporates the principles behind every one of these truths and walks you through living them out in your family, not somebody else's template. Not the curriculum company's version of real homeschool, not the influencer's perfect feed, not whatever the internet says is the right way. You don't need somebody else telling you how your family should work. You need tools to help you figure out how your family works best. To help with that, we've created a course just for you to help your family build a homeschool for your family. It's called Homeschool Start. Each letter is a core principle and has a module with several lessons of its own. S stands for set your foundation. This is finding your family's purpose and building your why. T is for tailoring your approach. Custom fitting your kids' learning styles to them and to your educational philosophy. A is assess and align. Know what's working beyond just testing. R is for resourcing wisely, choosing curriculum and like so much more with confidence and not confusion. T is thrive in community, building a support system that sustains your family. Every truth we walk through in this whole session today is taught in depth inside this course, including 3 phases from deschooling that we talked about in Truth 2, the 3-week rule from Truth 4, and so much more. There are 5 modules in 24 video lessons taught by real homeschool parents from our M2H team. Not academics, not a curriculum company, moms and dads, well, one dad, actively homeschooling. An 82-page printable workbook, real worksheets, planners, tools. That's not a whole bunch of notes pages. The majority of that is stuff for you to build what works for you and your family. A 90-day implementation plan, so you're never wondering, okay, what now? Access to our free online start, our free homeschool start community circle. So you're not doing this alone. You can talk to other people in the course. You'll get lifetime course access as well. You can go at your pace, revisit it anytime, and we're not done with it. For those who join now, you're going to get the locked-in price that I'll talk about later for everything now, which is a full course, but also all the supplemental lessons we're already working on and will be adding in the future. You'll get those added for free, even if the price goes up. As long as we're in version 1 to start, you get everything we add. We just did a soft launch to a few premium members in our community, and we had this comment from an already experienced homeschool mom who decided to try it out. She said, I had to write this because I started the modules today and I literally got teary-eyed. The content is just so thoughtful and encouraging, and it feels like someone really gets what we're going through as homeschool moms. It took me right back to my first Brave conference. That same feeling of, yes, these are my people. That's honestly how I fell in love with this community and decided to join. The way the material speaks straight to the heart while still being so practical, it's such a gift. I'm only at the beginning, but I already feel seen and excited to keep going. Thank you all so much for putting your hearts into this. It means more than I can say. That's from Catherine. She might be here right now. I don't know, not to embarrass you, Catherine, but you don't know how much that meant to us because our team really left it all on the field on this one. We really want to help you guys. We built this to give as much value as we could for those who are starting or just trying to get restarted. So I'm going to share with you guys actually right now what the start page looks like. Let me grab that right quick so you guys can see what you will see if and when you go there. 1 second. Let me grab that window. There it is. So this is what you'll see. Wait, you guys don't see that yet. I'm going to fix it. When you guys go to the page. Is it not up there yet, Katie? I didn't do it. There we go. Okay, sweet. Got it. So when you go to the page, you'll see all the stats that I just shared with you guys, all that information. Also, like more of what you can find inside. You'll see testimonials from members who took it as part of our beta. We beta tested this for months leading up to the launch today. You'll see more detail on who our presenters are. You'll get to see the whole lineup there. And in just a little bit, actually, some of them will be joining us for our panel. These are the folks not just to help lead our community, but these are the folks who communicated in the course. That is, these are some of our actual presenters. We figured out at some point we have 75 plus years of homeschooling experience combined across the team. There are multiple third-generation homeschool parents in there. There are 29 kids of experience represented across all 7 families here. Eight families. I got to fix that one. And there are 8 different families who have shared with you guys in this course. I already kind of went through the outline and what you can expect there. But one of the things that I think is a struggle is when we have talked to people about this, we get asked, well, is this just for new homeschool families? I think we built it for that. But what's been surprising to me is how many folks who are not new at all, who have been doing this for 7, 8 years, have already gone, yeah, I want to be one of the first to buy into that from our premium memberships. And Catherine was one of those who has been doing it, I think, for 7 years and started the course anyway and got so much value with it. So yeah, it's probably not for you if you're a veteran with more than 5 years and you're looking for specific curriculum recommendation and not, how to choose curriculum, because we're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to tell you how to figure it out. But we've had veterans who have joined and who've loved it, but especially if you're newer to homeschooling or seriously considering it. If you've been doing it for just a couple of years and it feels like you're winging it sometimes, if you're overwhelmed by curriculum choices and getting a lot of conflicting advice, if you value being able to integrate your faith into everything you do, I will warn you, this is for everybody, but you're going to hear about Jesus a lot in this course. That's who we are. Or, if you just want to learn from real parents and not from marketing stuff, this is built off of real families' experience. I will also let you guys know that if you're a little nervous about it, 2 things. 1, We have a family decision guide you can download off the website. You can have that conversation about finances and such with your spouse, family, whatever that needs to look like. You can think about it. But also, we will offer a money-back guarantee. If you complete entirely Module 1 and do the workbook content within 14 days, and you don't feel like you've gotten value out of it, we'll just give you your money back. Not if you do also Module 2, but if you finish Module 1 in 14 days and you still go, no, it's not valuable. That's not going to happen, by the way. We're that confident. We'll just give it back. So everything taught, you can see on the website. The real cost part was really interesting. As we were putting this together, I realized how much money I had spent on curricula I never used, on fees for things we barely touch, and then switching later in the year. Money gets burnt. Families spend often hundreds to thousands of dollars on stuff that ends up not being primarily what they use. But what's priceless is having confidence in your homeschool. And I'm not going to do the thing where I reveal the price. I'm like, well, this really should be 10 payments of $59.99.99, and all together it's $8 million. I hate that stuff. I don't want to do it. We really did a lot of research into how to price this thing correctly. And what we figured out was that probably realistically, it's about a $200 to $250 course. Really seriously looking at the market. But also, we're homeschool families too. And we want to make this available to as many people as we possibly can. So instead of that, we're going to price it at $97. But for this first week, literally ending in 7 days, 7 days, 8 hours, and 27 minutes, we are offering it for only $67. Now, our premium members get an extra discount on top of that. You have to become a premium member to learn more about that. But you'll get all 5 modules with 24 video lessons, the 82-page workbook, a 90-day capstone implementation plan, actual practical frameworks you can use. The family discussion guide's available for you also on that link. And you'll be learning from families that have actually been in the trenches doing the work. Not how you should homeschool, but how to figure out how homeschool works for your family. So before we go any further, I'm going to bring in our panel for our Q&A. Let me pull this down. And actually, is the link already in the chat, Katie? Have you had a chance? Has anybody seen the link? Great. I'm going to throw that link in the chat right now. You guys can get this right now at the button next to us if you're on the live watch page, or at homeschoolstart.com. Go to homeschoolstart.com and you'll be able to get that link. And we would just love to be able to serve you guys in this way. I'm beyond jazzed for this. It's been a long time coming. So let me bring my panel on. If you guys have questions about those 5 truths, anything about homeschool that we can help you with, or especially the course, we want to hear it. So let me bring on Katie, and let's see, Wendy's there, Amy's there, and Kristen is here. Awesome. Welcome, friends.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So glad to be here.
Guys, I have not had a chance to look at the chat at all because I was like totally focused on making sure I didn't miss anything important. But it seems like it's been active.
Yeah.
It's been popping.
I love it. So many great comments.
Yes. Go ahead, Katie.
No, you're fine. I was just adjusting things.
Here, I got you. There you go.
The entire time I'm like, should I be sitting in my schoolroom? I got a table. Like I literally have a whole school at home. Like, don't look at the board.
What I love about your school doesn't have to look like that is that the philosophy within this course and just within Made to Homeschool as a whole is not about, it doesn't mean you can't do desks. It doesn't mean you can't have a whiteboard. It means you just don't have to feel limited to what you've done in the past. And I actually really appreciated the way you said it, Brandon, when you said you don't have to be limited by what you know. And that works really well for like Amy and I, who are 2nd generation homeschoolers, because we grew up with our parents doing it a certain way. And there was aspects of it that I was like, oh, I can't wait to change this. I'm going to do this different. I'm going to do this. But there were other things that I didn't even realize. I was kind of feeling like, oh no, we have to start it this way because that's the way it's always been done. So I just think it's a good thing to challenge us all to think about, what are we holding on to that's weighing us down versus like letting us enjoy the freedom that homeschooling is.
Yeah, as I was writing it, I was like, I know I've got baggage from the public school system, But like, we all have things that we think are the way, even if we don't, because I didn't realize what I thought was the way
Yeah.
until I started doing it. And so no matter what you're coming from, it's not about customizing just to make it not about me. It's not about customizing to me. It's about customizing to what's going to work for my whole family and this and every individual child, because they all different too.
Yes.
I don't want to be also off of that if you had thoughts on that.
You know, yesterday I was talking to two other homeschool parents. One's actually another homeschool dad, a local friend of mine, and a homeschool mom. And we were talking about just the challenge that we face as parents, like always wondering, like, wait, am I being like expecting too much right now? Am I being too lenient? Like that constant thing. And we always feel like we're choosing the wrong thing. And we were talking about how valuable it is to be able to hear the experience of other people. Right? Other families, different kids, even within our own families, like different children, we sometimes feel like we're handling different ways or need different things. And so that's something I really appreciate about doing this in community, doing with such a variety of homeschool parents here on screen, let alone within the community, the many voices in the homeschool start as well. Like all of our homeschools and our families look so different, and we learn so much from other people, just like that other perspective. It gets us out of that mindset of like, of course, this is the way it has to be done. Someone else is like, but does it really?
Yeah.
And that opens up a whole new way of thinking about our homeschools.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. And if I can, guys, I'm going to pop up a couple things here. Stephanie Palmer, who was the first in our community as a premium member to grab it in early access recently. She said, you all really did. It's been amazing. I'm not far into it, but it's been so helpful. And I have been homeschooling for around 7 years. That's awesome. And then Wendy, oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Wendy Swenson said, well, although I couldn't stay for the entire meeting yesterday, I had a workshop and made to homeschool yesterday. I guess God knew where I needed to be today. I am so excited to see that you're offering this. I'm super excited to do this. I am new to homeschool. I'm a new homeschooling mom, where God had put this on my heart 2 years ago. We finally started a little more than 4 months ago, not knowing what to honestly do. This will help so much. I'm so glad. That's awesome.
I'm so glad. That's what it was created for. It was very intentionally and specifically like, how can we help those who are out there going, I just don't know. You know, we wanted to be able, and it is hard out there because there are so many different ways and nuances to it. But I think what's been really cool about this course that we've been working on is that it works for all the nuances. I have kids that are neurotypical and neurodivergent. I have high schoolers and I have elementary age kids. We have all these different representations of ages and stages and things. And I think it allows us to be able to take these frameworks and these how-tos and put it into place in a way that works for our family.
And speaking of the frameworks real quick, I realized I didn't show what the workbook looked like at all. Guys, it's pretty.
Oh, we love it.
What's that?
I said, we love it.
It's like I maybe I need to deal with the Lord on pride I have in us in what we have built together. But like, it's good. And it's legitimately just full of things will help you build homeschool for your family. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. We don't sell a physical copy, but you can download the printables. And what's really cool is all the worksheets, most of them have space for multiple kids. Some have families of one child, some have family of 3 child. But if you have a family of 9 children, you're like, hey, that's not for me. Cool. It's printable. So you can print as many copies as you want. Boom.
Which I very much appreciate.
No, I think that one of the things that you'll see when you're on YouTube or when you even go to conventions is different ways that people are doing different things. And everybody will tell you, oh, figure out the way that you do things and then do it that way. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool.
How?
I don't know.
Like I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying. So it's like, yes, we do have, it's amazing to have something in which it's like the cookie cutter, like this is what you need to do. These are the parameters. These are the steps that you need to take in order to figure out your own unique family and your own unique rhythms. I think that that is what is missing with all the information out there. And I think that's why people get so overwhelmed with all the curriculum and all the stuff because they don't know really what works for them and their family.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about Start too, is we're not coming in being like, oh yeah, here are the 5 curriculum you need to buy. because all of us use different curriculum. And I honestly, I use different curriculum for all 5 of my kids.
Yeah,
right?
So, each kid has their own curriculum.
Exactly. And that goes back to that truth you shared, Brandon, about your why, really asking those questions first. That's the framework. I'm a big picture thinker. I love that. I love asking the big picture questions first. But if you can set that as the foundation, that gives you so much then flexibility. The details will flow from that. But we start with those big questions. And so I think that's really helpful.
Yep. You can, what is it? You can take a goat. No, is it a man? Is it a horse? Who you taking to the water?
You can lead a horse to water.
No,
you can't make him drink.
No, it's the one about teaching people how to fish or farm.
You can lead a horse to fish, but you can't make him a pescatarian. Is that the one?
No, we got to teach them how to fish, not just give them some fish so that they can keep fishing.
Yeah, but I'm just curious how a goat works in that. That's just what I'm trying to figure out.
No, not goat.
Goat? Was it a fleece? Gideon?
Or we could teach them how to breed their own goats, and then we'd be fine.
There you go. Yeah. It works the same though.
Guys, if you don't know, this is what Made to Homeschool is actually like on the inside. If you don't know, Katie, Wendy, Kristen, Amy are part of our core team. They help lead all the major decisions in Made to Homeschool. And they have been part of this project since before it had a name. And they helped make the name, and they picked on names that I presented as ideas. And so we had to change some things. But in the end, so much of all the years of their wisdom have put into this thing. But guys, we want to hear your questions. We want to hear what you want to know about the truths we shared. One, right? How can we help you in these things? Two, we want to hear your questions on Start. If you don't know if it's for you, if you're curious, if it has what you need, ask us. This is live right now. You're here. We want to hear from you and what you're looking for and how we can help you guys. So I'll wait for those questions in the chat. Guys, we'd love to hear from you all. In the meantime, I agree.
It's so fun. These lives are amazing. And also in response to showing the workbook earlier.
Yes, it is pretty.
Yes. And Stephanie loves the fact. She's like, I love that you add scripture throughout. So we try our best. Because that's
Crystal, whom I know, Dr. Crystal Merle is over here correcting Wendy in the most kind way ever. But yes, that's the right one. But we decided we were going to blend them together, Crystal.
That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we don't have to just do one philosophy or one aphorism. We will just blend them all together to make an eclectic proverb.
We're just going to make a classical unschooler, right, Amy?
That's kind of how we treat all of our homeschools, isn't it?
Exactly.
Welcome to the Start course.
Yeah, that's about right. Hey, there's Catherine. Sorry we picked on you, Catherine. She said no questions. Just want to say thank you for being so consistently awesome and putting out the best homeschool content. Thank you. China, I do follow Katie. Thank you all for everything you do. Are there any other YouTube channels you recommend to help me with my son with ASD?
Oh, off the top of my head. I'm off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank. I know there are other ones. I would be happy to post. Anybody who is here, when you signed up through the link, you got access to a free Made to Homeschool account. And I will look because I know several, but I just can't think of any of the names right this second. But I'll post that in the circles there, and I'd be happy to do that. But Crystal has a question. Oops.
Yeah. It's a Start course aimed for families of younger kids. Super good question. I would say not necessarily really built for people who are newer to homeschooling or just trying to get a restart, but we've just seen so many families doing it. Most of the families that have taken it so far, I think, have actually been homeschooling for some time, and they're getting loads of value out of it. But Amy, can I pick on you as the one who's graduated kids at this point? Could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, that was actually something that was important to me. I'm really thankful for the course, that it's not just, hey, you have preschoolers, let's get started with homeschooling. But we wanted to make sure there was some really helpful information for parents of teens looking forward to those high school years. So not like Katie mentioned earlier, she and I are both homeschool graduates ourselves, but I actually already have 2 homeschool graduates who are now pursuing their own university degrees, as well as 2 teens still at home and another student. So definitely something that's really important. And that was something that I worked on. I think I have at least one of the lessons is about high school and just like details about transcripts and course credits and all those kinds of things.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's definitely a course that is going to be helpful no matter where you are or what ages are in your homeschool.
Yeah, I learned something from Amy in editing that lesson. Because what are they called, Amy? I never knew the term. High school credits are called something units.
Oh, the Carnegie units. But if you remember, I pushed back and I was like, yeah, people are like all about the Carnegie units, but really
No,
and
yeah,
do
no.
things our own way. So I've never measured a Carnegie unit in my homeschool ever as a student or as a teacher. But we do include information about that in the course as well. But I kind of wanted to make sure we saw that there were many different ways to approach homeschooling high school as well. You know, we've done this our own way. We've been outside the box teachers this whole time. And so high school is not a time to somehow be like, oh, now we've got to get back inside the box.
Yeah.
So really wanting parents to be able to still see the freedom we have, even in the high school years, to meet our requirements, to set our kids up for success, whether they're college bound or not, and to do it still in a creative way that matches our children's, uniqueness as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think within the course, there's also just the practical that works for every age.
Mhm.
There is how to do record keeping. There is how do you organize your homeschool space? How do you find your state laws? That's applicable whether you're homeschooling preschool or whether you're homeschooling high school. And so there's definitely a lot, but I love the fact that there's stuff geared specifically to the older ages as well, because so much of the stuff out there is just assuming you're starting from the beginning, and that's what I also appreciated Christina sharing about deschooling and her personal experience in taking kids out of school and what would that process look like. Because I think that's so needed, especially for older kids.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And I think, one of the things you hit on, Amy, and it's not directly to, I think, Crystal or China's question. I think Crystal's. But it's something about the course that I think is important. I don't know that I went to any of you. We fleshed out content. You guys shared your thoughts about what needed to be included and all that. I don't think I went to any of you and said, no, that's a bad idea. Did I do that to anybody? Did I say, no, we're not including that?
Mm-mm.
And now this is unique, a little bit not unique to Amy, although you might notice Amy, our like resident classical expert, kind of, sort of. She is also like a rebel. And so she has already in this chat told me, hey, no, not that. This is normal for her, right? And so we had a lot of discussion around this stuff. One of the things I love is that this team beat this thing to death until it was in the right shape. Like, it was carefully sculpted, and we really are trying to get as much as we can that will help you make decisions for your families from all of the combined experience without being prescriptive, without saying, here's all information on exactly the right way. And I think it's a unique kind of proposition, and I'm really excited for that and how many families can benefit from it.
And
thanks,
also
Amy.
the different types of families as well. So like taking into account, like I get this comment on my YouTube channel a lot that like, oh, I only have one child, so I can't homeschool them. Like that kind of mindset. But I love the fact that we have people who are homeschooling, doing it for years with only one child. It's a thing. And it's hard for me specifically to talk about it. And so like the different views and the making sure that we can dump as much into this course as possible is something that is unique to this course. That's not something that you're going to get anywhere else, because you can't make us anywhere else, if that makes sense. Like the experience here is what makes it what it is. And
yeah, you can only speak from what you know, but by collectively coming together, we can speak on a lot more. I love Gwen's comment. She's like, I feel like this is helpful to those who have been doing this for a while, is because each stage that the student goes through is like a restart and reevaluation of new ideas. That is so true. I tell my kids all the time, especially my older two, they're in the same grade together. And I'm like, this is the first time I've ever had a 10th grader. So like, be patient with me. Like, it's your first time being in high school. It's my first time doing this. Like, we're going to learn together. And And I just think that that's a really beautiful thing, that there's a lot of going back to the why. Like Amy said, man, that those high school years, it is so easy to hop right back in that box and to get really terrified really fast, and going back to your why and being like, wait a second. Like, we literally had this come to Jesus moment a month ago where I stepped back and I was like, hold on a second. When I look at my why, I specifically, for my kiddos that have special needs, especially, but for all my kids, I really wanted the ability to customize their education to what they needed. And I knew that would not be reasonable for me to ask that of a teacher in a classroom, that they can't possibly do that, no fault of their own, right, for 30 plus kids. And I really wanted to be able to do that. And I realized I was very much putting a box label on a lot of their high school and not customizing it enough. So we've really made a commitment to make some changes next year to make sure we're doing more of that customization.
Yeah, I think Renata has a comment. She said, I agree, Gwen H. Also, as you add in younger children that reach school age and rhythms change, and what worked for your older children at that age doesn't work for the other ones, and you feel like you're starting over. I'm not looking forward to that. Mine are all pretty young right now, but I got a 2-year-old.
Listen, I've had a toddler every year of my homeschooling, and it is a different toddler every year. Even the same toddler is a different toddler every single year.
True.
Maybe we need a restart course in a couple years. Maybe next year we'll do a restart. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah. But Amy, Wendy, Kristen, Katie, I'm curious from you guys, on the start course, what is it that excites you most about it? Or what did you enjoy most in your presenting? I will pick on Wendy while I let y'all think about that. And guys, we do want to hear your questions. So drop your questions in the chat, please. We'd love to answer them. But I'm going to pick on Wendy. Wendy somehow ended up presenting more lessons than everybody except for me and my wife, Brigitte, who is not here right now. But Wendy, what happened there?
I got a big mouth. I don't know what to tell you.
You got a big mouth. Most of them, you had a big pregnancy.
Shooting. Oh my gosh, I was so pregnant.
You were significantly great with child, not medium with child.
Yes.
No, I was like 9 months pregnant. I was like, baby, get out of me. So all that to say, I think my favorite aspect of this is that this is not just something that you buy once, you use it, and you're done. I think that for me, if I'm going to invest my money, my time, my energy into something, I need to be able to use the mess out of it, because we a one income family, and we don't have money to waste like that. So when I put my money in something, the fact that I can go back to it now or go back to it 2 years from now and it will still be relevant, it will still help me, I can revisit it. That to me, that's priceless. Like that is priceless. So that's my favorite aspect of it.
That's awesome. Any other thoughts from you guys?
I have thoughts, but I just wanted to let other people have a turn.
Go ahead,
Katie.
Kristen, you share.
Okay, sure. Well, I think I probably have two. So from my perspective here, being someone who helped contribute, my favorite is that I am not so far removed from the beginning of my homeschool that it's hard for me to remember what it was like. As years go, you kind of forget what it was like at the beginning. And I'm not too far away that I have started to forget. And I know how helpful this will be, because it will be like a breath of fresh air for people who have tried to figure it out on their own. I remember the first couple of months, once my husband and I really decided I was going to homeschool, I just went to YouTube University, and that was so cool, because that is where I learned who Katie and Wendy were. But y'all, it was so overwhelming, because I was like, what is this? Like, what are these people talking about?
Yeah.
It was so stressful. also, I only school one child, and I knew that I would only ever school one, and nobody homeschools an only child. So while Katie and Wendy and Amy have really great things and I can learn things from them, it was hard for me to see what that would look like for me in my home. So that's probably my favorite part, being someone who has contributed, but like the practical, I love the workbook because I love that it's just, it's not like a fill in the blank. It's not someplace you just take notes. Like it's really meant for you to sit with it and really work it out. Like it's meant for you to actually work with your spouse, with your kids, with yourself and your Bible, and really just kind of figure out like, what am I doing? Where am I going? How do I make this work for me? I think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah. It's not as simple as like, hey, make your why. It's going to walk you through. Like,
because like, what even does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah. And so the workbook's going to walk you through step by step. Okay, answer this question. Now answer this question. Now answer this. Now put that together. That's your why. And like that is incredibly, incredibly helpful because there's some of these things we just get used to saying and you hear it and you're like, but how? I think it's so important.
Yeah, it's kind of like with anything, we know that a great education for any child does more teaching them how to think than what to think. Mm. And I think that we forget that for ourselves. Mm. Like we're like, well, I'm grown now and I got kids I got to take care of. Just give me the answer. Except to get an answer that doesn't fit. And I did my best to not be overly churchy and say this when I was like teaching this content, but like, don't put on Saul's armor. Like it don't fit you. It's somebody else's. Maybe it's good for them. Maybe it's great for them. Maybe they have slain their thousands in that armor, but God has made you to maybe slay your 10,000s, but not with somebody else's armor. So what we tried to do was teach you how to build your own. Mm-hmm. And maybe your armor will look funky. Mine has got dents and it's rusty and it's weird looking and it's like bedazzled because my little girl got a hold of it. But like, it's my armor. It works. I take analogies and do weird things to them. But you get the point. It's getting us somewhere, right, Wendy?
Something like that.
Yeah, we're getting there.
What I appreciated about the course, I think my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
My favorite thing about the course, I think, is the fact that I'm torn between two. I'll just share one. So is the fact that you're not by yourself doing it. So when you purchase the course, you automatically get a private circle in the community, in the Made to Homeschool community. Yeah. And it's completely free. It's included with your purchase, right? And you get this circle. And what it is it's like a chat room in a special protected place of just people that are taking this course. So as you're starting to have questions, as you want to share, be like, hey guys, this is kind of my why statement. What do you guys think about this? You can give feedback about that with other people. You can talk about, hey, are you guys using this digitally? Are you printing it? How are you doing this? You can go through and be like, hey, I learned this today and I'm actually going to try this. Can you guys keep me accountable? And that aspect is so helpful because there's so many things like watching YouTube videos. Obviously, most of us are YouTubers, so we like when you watch YouTube videos. We thank you very much for that. But there's not that interaction piece to it, right? You can't like spur one another on. You can't keep each other accountable with that. And with this, it gives us the opportunity to do that. And we're all there. So we can also help encourage you. If you also have questions, we can help with that along the way. And so I just think that's really, really valuable. That's not offered in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I love Gwen just said, love you guys. I got to run. Just signed up to start. Come on, Gwen. Get it. We can't wait to see you in the Homeschool Start Circle in the community. Katie, you posted something in there recently. Do you happen to have that workbook with you?
It's upstairs.
Katie
printed the live was starting. I was like, I should have grabbed that before.
Katie printed the whole thing. Wait, I'm just going to share the picture. Is that cool, Katie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Katie printed the whole thing. Is this what I'm sharing? No. Yes, it is. Perfect. And do I have a tab? Yeah, I did. So Katie printed.
While Brandon does that, I'm going to read Brooks. She got the course and she said, I sat down with my husband and we worked through our why. We had never done that before. And the questions were really, really helpful. Sorry, I just had to share.
That makes me so happy. Thank you for sharing that, Brooke. That is awesome. I love it. I had to do it too. Like, I had to do it too, right? Like, I knew it, but like, whenever I tried to say it, I was like, is that it? Yeah, it's okay. For me, for our family, worldview and character are the most important parts of their education. Maybe it's a little different for your family. And math's important, and reading's important, and language skills are super important, but like, who they are for us is more important than what they do or what they know. And so I'm like, yeah, that actually is my why. And it's freeing to be able to go, you know what? No, that's my why. So that is huge. That is awesome. Let me share with you guys real quick, just because it's cool. Katie had it printed.
Stephanie.
Let me share right here.
Yeah, Stephanie goes, my husband doesn't know it yet, but those are our questions for our date night tonight. I love it.
Very nice.
Yep, that's my homeschool start workbook right there.
That's it. Stephanie, that's absolutely awesome. Super cool. Samantha said, I feel like homeschooling space on Facebook is overwhelming and not always positive, and that's one reason. I love M2H so much. Thank you. I appreciate that, Samantha, a lot. We're so thankful that you've been there like you're an OG. We love having you in the community. And then, yeah. Guys, I would love to sit and chat all day, but I can't. Like, we have to honor our time here. We shared the workbook with you. There's so much more. There's a million things I couldn't share. I got to tell you, I'm relatively certain that once we add the supplemental lessons, the price is going to have to go up. We've had a fair amount of pushback from people about the price already, but I grew up so poor. It was Poe. You couldn't afford the O and the R, right? Like, I get it. And our family has made financial sacrifices to homeschool. I know your families have too. We want to make this available to you. So buy it now and not a year from now when it's higher, or even a week from now when it's higher. And there's one other thing. For at least the first 3 months, we are going to host a live hangout in the community just for people who have purchased Homeschool Start and members of our team who want to join. I'm going to be there at least the first 3 months. We'll do this. We'll see if it's maintainable. Okay. Sustainable, whatever the word is. But we want to offer as much as we can to you guys. And we want to give you a place to talk with each other. We make community a big deal. We've always said, I've said, it's a thing for me. I want Made to Homeschool to be community first. So we're going to provide that for you guys along with the course. If you have any questions, let us know. You see the website right there. If you're on the live watch page, then probably right over there, past that thing you're looking at, there's a link where you can go get it right now. Purchase the course, have it, and start your homeschool with confidence. Everybody, last words, Amy, Kristen, Katie, anybody?
We just hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed putting it together, honestly, and that it can be a true blessing for you guys.
Yeah. We've been praying for this thing, guys. We've been praying for you guys. My 10-year-old, we prayed right before I got on this live stream, and my 10-year-old said, Daddy, can I pray for you too? And he prayed that it would help a lot of people. So we're excited, guys. Go therefore and become members. It'll be awesome. If you guys have any other questions, we're in the community. We'd love to see you there. You all have a free membership now if you've signed up on the live page. God bless, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.